alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And good morning, everyone. I know there are very few people who are coming, but I wish for more people to come. I would like to introduce thank you very much, first of all, for this opportunity and being a moderator for this session. I would like to invite with me here Maryam Aamri. I know she's greeting people. Maryam Aamri is an Omani women entrepreneur who is making waves in the business world as a passionate CEO at Youth Vision. She is specialized in corporate social innovation, and she is the founder of Innovation Hub Company. She is specialized in corporate innovation. Maryam is a dynamic leader who is committed to driving positive changes in progress in her field. She sits on boards of several organizations, and she is widely recognized as an expert in her field. MashaAllah, you are very young to have all these things. With Masters of Innovation and Management in Entrepreneurship from Bournemouth University in the UK, Maryam has developed a keen eye for identifying emerging trends and technologies and leveraging them to create innovation solutions for her clients. She is also, as an entrepreneur, she is dedicated to promoting the importance of innovation and creativity in today's fast-paced business environment. She is passionate about helping businesses achieve their goals through innovation, and she is also committed to empowering individuals and organizations to reach their full potential, which is very important and well needed in nowadays. Maryam is sought-after speakers and thought leaders and has been featured in numerous industry publications and events. She is dedicated in innovations and excellence, has earned her a reputation as one of the top leaders in field. Thank you and welcome to this panel discussion. I'm sure we will have an interesting discussion. Please put your hands together to welcome Maryam. I would like also to welcome Mr. Amjid Ali. Amjid Ali is an experienced IT leader with over 20 years of expertise in digital transformation. He began his career in education and transitions into IT. Good morning. Leveraging his entrepreneurial background to develop effective growth strategies. Currently, as the head of a transformation and growth at Ansari, he is dedicated to driving change and fostering a culture of innovation and collaboration. Mr. Ali is recognized as a visionary leader who has helped numerous organizations achieve success through technology-driven growth and profitability. Welcome, Mr. Ali. Last but not least, I would like to invite Mr. Engineer Mohammed Rasbi, sorry. I'm so sorry. Mohammed Rasbi. Engineer Mohammed Rasbi is an Omani serial entrepreneur, startup mentor, and technical director. Mohammed started his first business in 2003 and has since been working in the information technology industry. With a comprehensive understanding of market evaluation and online technologies, Mr. Rasbi is responsible for major digital project. For major digital project launches for institutional clients in the Sultanate of Oman. Today, he works as a managing director at Oman Technology Fund and runs the fund's acceleration pre-seed and seed programs. Within the past 2.5 years, he has invested and accelerated more than 110 startups in the Middle East. His international studies include the George Washington University, where he earned Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering and worked several years as a senior analyst. Thank you very much for being with me here today. Please put your hands together to welcome this interesting and wonderful team. I have here a few questions, and later, if the time permits, if anybody from the audience have questions, we welcome those questions later. I will start with Ms. Maryam here. We were chatting about the ecosystem before we start the discussion, and Ms. Maryam and the engineer Mohammed said, we will be there in the panel discussing, but I thought that we'll have a better idea where we talk about the ecosystem. So I request Maryam to give us just a brief about the ecosystem in entrepreneurship.
Good morning, and thank you so much for inviting me to this session. Thank you so much, Doctor, about this briefing. Ecosystem innovation and entrepreneur ecosystem, it is basically, in very simple words, it's a collaboration between private, public, academic. They come together to come up with solutions, innovative solutions that will help the society, the community, and also the economy. So if we could break the bridge between all these stakeholders and all these, entities and individuals, that they can come together to have brilliant ideas, brilliant solutions, and they can implement it. I think this is the ideal ecosystem that I can say in very simple words.
I have my first question for you, Maryam. How do we describe the ecosystem, which you already did, of innovation and incubation in the Sultanate of Oman, of which universities and colleges are as a part, and where is their position in this ecosystem?
First of all, we know that a lot of big companies that we are using now are their products, for example, Apple or Microsoft or whatever. Most of them, of the founders, are students who are students in the colleges and universities, and they have this brilliant ideas and solutions. And maybe the environment of that college and university, because it's in the middle of, in the industries, and they are connecting to the industries, to the leaders, and that will bring the ideas, and that will bring, students and colleges to provide the industry what they need. They need skills, they need minds, they need someone to implement those solutions and ideas. And of course, as much as they are fresh, they will be innovative ideas, and they will be a lot of, think out of the box and all of these things. So I think colleges and universities, the education system itself, it should play a very big role in entrepreneurship ecosystem and innovation ecosystem, not only for the students and individuals or youth themselves, but also for the industry, for the country, people who want very good ideas, who want fresh ideas, innovative ideas. So I think will be the very good resources for the industry. Not also that, but I think the academic people there, the research mindsets and skills that they have, that will provide also the industry as an entrepreneur, as an innovative, solutions through the startups or entrepreneurs or incubations or even labs. That will help also the industry to have that resources of research and development to make for them easy. And we know that a lot of firms around the world, they collaborate with big universities, with the labs, innovative labs. Students, academic, all of them, they are having their labs in their universities and colleges for these industries, for these firms, to bring, for example, ideas that disruptive innovation. They want to disrupt the industry in that, and they are working for 1 to 3 years, and they invest on this research and development. So universities and colleges will play very, very good role with different industries. And I believe about the clusters. So if we have, for example, a university near to a firm that near to the beach, and they are doing this research regarding to, for example, fishing or anything related to the beach, the university will play that role of research and development, of providing this firm about ideas and skills from the students, and starting a new products with the entrepreneurs that incubated maybe in the firm or incubated in the universities and colleges. This is what I see about the ecosystem.
Now I will move to Mr. Amjad Ali. My first question to you is, what global trends do you think will have the biggest impacts on entrepreneurship in Oman in the coming years? Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone, and thank you, first of all, for the organizers for inviting me to this session today. As you mentioned, the question that what I see the trends are going to come in the future and that will impact the entrepreneurship here in Oman. Of course, there are various factors. First of all, I would like to put a light on fourth industrial revolution. We have seen that the technologies like artificial intelligence, big data, machine learning, and all other fourth industrial revolution related technologies, even cloud or industrial IoTs. These have transformed the industries to a totally new industry these days. And these technologies are continuously evolving, and these are transforming the businesses today. And there is a big opportunity for all the entrepreneurs who want to start their businesses because the technology will continuously evolve. And once the technology is continuously evolving, of course, it is creating new challenges also, and it is also creating new opportunities. So those entrepreneurs who want to start their business or who want to have the new ideas of transforming other businesses also, so they can, of course, once they start their business, so they will definitely be unique in terms of adopting to the new industries. Second aspect which I want to talk about is the sustainability. So we have seen overall across the globe that entrepreneurs are focusing on the products and services which are sustainable. So consumers are also demanding more environment-friendly products. And even governments is also putting initiatives to ensure that the businesses are equipped with providing the sustainable solutions and products. So I can see that there is a room for entrepreneurs in Oman to go for the sustainable products. And if those entrepreneurs who are into the products or who are going for these kind of products will definitely flourish and will definitely have a good growth in future. Then we have seen the pandemic recently that it has turned the world upside down, and it has created various opportunities also. And we have seen that people or businesses have moved remote, and businesses have also adopted the online strategy. So those entrepreneurs who are following the remote work and who are following the online business strategy, for example, enhancing the e-commerce and mobile-friendly businesses, will definitely have a good growth in this particular region. And we have seen some of examples also here, which is definitely, I believe, in next coming years also the trend will remain same. And lastly, I would like to say about the social entrepreneurship. As Madam has already mentioned, that those entrepreneurs who are playing a vital role in the economy in terms of the social impact or environment impact, they will definitely be most demanding, and they will definitely grow in future. And I believe that there is a need of such industries or such entrepreneurs who can create an impact in the social businesses, or businesses can be seen as the social businesses. That's it.
Just have a point here to ask you about. When you talked about sustainable projects, can you just elaborate a bit more on what are these projects?
Sustainable products and services, we can say, for example, use of plastic, for example. Those products which are not using plastic, or if we introduce some ideas which can eliminate the plastic from the environment. Secondly, if we talk about, for example, of course, people are already working on this solar power. So I was talking on one platform, people said that we do not have the energy crisis, so why should we go for the solar? And solar is in fact eco-friendly, so it's environment-friendly, it can save our environment. So there are various examples, various projects which can definitely be kind of such projects, and even consumers are demanding those products. So if consumers are demanding, so there is a gap, there is a demand, which means that entrepreneurs has to think about such kind of products and solutions.
Now we'll move to Engineer Mohammed Rasbi. And my first question to you, what unique resources and support systems are available for startups and entrepreneurs in Oman's innovation and incubation ecosystem?
Thank you very much for the question. So I'll just give you a brief history. Almost 20 years ago, the first incubator program was set up in at Knowledge Oasis Muscat, and I was fortunate to be part of that as an actual company and a startup to be incubated in that space. So fast forward 20 years, seeing the space and being involved in different areas of different aspects of this has given me, let's say, a different point of view from inside and from outside as well, as someone who received support and also someone who was part of giving support to these startups. So also there's also the transition of terminology as well. So you hear incubation, you hear acceleration, accelerators, incubators, the different terminologies, and these have changed over the past 20 years. As of today, the word incubation and acceleration can mean different things to different people, and we can, I mean, this whole discussion could just be defining this, and each one of us can have a different meaning. It doesn't matter from my point of view. What matters is whoever provides the service, they can label whatever they do as incubation or acceleration. But in essence, the support that a lot of people can get in Oman as of now, especially starting from 2017 when Oman Technology Fund started investing. Previously, you had infrastructure, you had different support systems available from different entities, private and government as well, which supported a lot. But the difference was when investing came into place. And this has changed a lot and has had a big impact. Now, incubation for startups and acceleration for startups is different than when we talk about SMEs. So SMEs and startups are different entities. SME and a startup. So a startup is an innovation-driven SME. SME is your traditional businesses, and there's nothing wrong with that. Both of them need support, but both of them have different trajectory and different, let's say, characteristics and requirements. Once we define this, then we can provide the right support. So as of today, there's a lot of support for SMEs. There's also a decent amount of support for startups as well, and there are more and more coming in. So over the past now more than 5 years, Oman Technology Fund has invested in more than 160 startups in Oman and outside of Oman, and that was purposely done. And the rationale of investing outside of Oman as well is to have some knowledge to transfer between founders in Oman and outside as well. And for the founders in Oman to see that there's actually they can relate to other founders, and the same challenges they face here, they can also, the others have faced outside of Oman. So incubation, acceleration, these are terminologies. The best definition I can say as far as the difference between the two, incubation gives you the ability to try. Acceleration is the idea of just moving from point A to point B as fast as possible. And different people provide this in different ways, and different entities in Oman provide them differently, which is good. I personally believe no matter how many supporters you have in Oman, and in the MENA region in general, it will never be enough, because there are more and more startups being formed every day, and more founders forming their own startups, or SMEs, whatever you want to call them. They need support, and there's never enough support. There's not enough money to go around. There's not enough. So if we have more of these, it'd be better for the ecosystem. Letting people try, because even the supporters themselves, they're trying to find the right, let's say, model for them to provide the support to be sustainable, because also running an acceleration program and incubation is costly. So you need to figure out the best model for you to be sustainable, and because of that, each one provides different, let's say, incentives, different mentorship programs, and different investment opportunities. Some invest directly, some don't. Some help you in being ready to be investor ready. And because of that, I see the trajectory in Oman is doing very well. Yeah, some people mention Oman as a small market. That's true. But Oman, one of the best benefits of Oman is that you can try a lot of things here, validate in Oman, and then go outside. Sometimes trying to validate outside of Oman is difficult, while in Oman, sometimes you're maybe 1 or 2 calls away from someone to be able to test something. Once you test, then you're able to see, are you in the right path or not? And because of that, I think we're on the right trajectory.
I have a follow-up question, if you don't mind. When you talked about incubation and acceleration as well, And today we are in GHEDEX, and it is conference where we have universities, colleges, and schools are coming together. How do you see the interaction or the collaboration between you, not I don't mean you as a person, but the industry and with the universities, with the higher education and school as well? How do you see that?
So I see there's a lot of, from my point of view, I see there's a lot of opportunity for a connection between industry and between academia. There's a lot of students, there's a lot of researchers. One thing also I found in Oman, there's a lot that happens that nobody knows about. Okay, so and this I hear this feedback from investors from outside of Oman. It's like we don't know what's happening in Oman, and all of a sudden we see this something comes up. So in one way that's good, but also in another way it's bad. But at the end of the day, there's a lot that happens in Oman. Not everyone knows about it, but there's a lot of things happening. As far as industry, there's a lot. There is a hunger from industry for solutions to be provided from academia. Now, trying to figure out the connection, that's always being the catalyst between these two, is something that we try as Oman Technology Fund. We try to be that let's say connection between the two. So we would invest in startups that potentially can provide a solution for industry, but also at the same time to not just in Oman, but also outside of Oman. So we always purposely try as much as possible, whenever we make an investment in any startup, any founders, is that can we connect them very quickly with industry to be able to validate? And once they validate, can they go outside? And is that problem, not just in Oman, but also outside of Oman? I think that's one thing we should just keep in mind. There's so many different problems, but also if you want to be successful, work on a problem that doesn't it doesn't have to be just in Oman. If you're a startup, if you're an SME, that's a different story. But if you're a startup and you're trying to grow and grow fast, look at problem sets that are not just in Oman, and this can be done very simply doing a bit of this desk research. Google and now ChatGPT can help you do a lot of things. So because of that, you can do a lot and you can validate very quickly and do back of the envelope calculation without investing anything. If you go 20 years back, you had to do a lot of setup, you had to do a lot of servers and everything that would cost you a lot of money just to test. Now there's so many different perks that for starters they can even they can get credits from different online services that just to test and then validate. So there is opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity. Now it's trying to figure out which one would make more sense for you as a founder or someone in the academia and industry. That's the biggest question. But as far as are there opportunities, there's a lot. And so I think it's a matter of somebody trying to, do you want to take a very steep uphill journey, or you want to take a more leisure journey? It's up to you. And that's the only difference, I think, at the moment.
Very much. And events like this definitely, reduce the gap between schools, universities, colleges, and the industry as well. And we're looking for more collaboration, inshallah. Thank you. Now I will come back to Ms. Maryam again. I have my second question. How do you colleges and universities are prepared to be a center of innovation and to embrace innovations projects that support the economy and industry from your point of view?
This is good questions, actually. And I think colleges and universities, they can build their own ecosystem internally first, just to have this showcase and to train their students and researchers to come up with the new solutions and products, and also mindsets and skills, good skills. So if you start from the colleges itself, I think the colleges and universities, they have a lot of services and products that they bring it from outside. So why you don't build this ecosystem internally, that you make those students who will provide these services or products, as we can see it in other colleges and universities outside Oman. There are students that they are working in coffee shops, students that they are working in library, and they have this view about all the challenges that they face as a student and also as a service provider. So this small experience will give them the experience of the industry, the experience of innovative ideas and challenges, and how they want to solve it. And the support from the colleges and university, from the academia, from the researchers, from the mentors, that they will give to those people, to those students internally, it's more easier than you go outside and, searching for access to finance or, data or anything that will help to implement those kinds of products. So this is the step before even the incubation phase or acceleration phase. We need this zero phase, I don't know what we call it, or education phase for the students, to start from the university itself and make this small ecosystem to provide the university and the colleges all the services and products within the university itself and the colleges itself. Second thing that I think some of the universities and colleges, it's in the middle of the city, and I'm sure that there are a lot of firms and companies that they are around these universities and colleges. And starting from the incubation things and innovative ideas, I think some of the cases that you give them in the assignments or courses, maybe you can link it with those industries or with those firms, with those companies that they will give you your students just a challenge. You make your students through the course to solve this challenge, so that we can link together in the course itself. Because before we start the session, you say that sometimes you have programs for the students to just teach them or to make awareness about the industry or the entrepreneurship skills and all of these things, but they don't attend these programs. But if we embedded all of these things in their courses or assignments or homeworks that they have to do, all the research, all the surveys, and they come with the solutions, real solutions for the real cases, that will help us to build this in ecosystem gradually. And that will come bigger and bigger. And you don't know, maybe from one idea to one project to a startup that maybe, like go to outside the Oman. So yeah, I think this is a step that we can start with the colleges and universities. I'm sure that some of the colleges and universities, they have all these initiatives and they embedded all these kinds of, tools and exercises, but we need more, and we need more support also from the industry to use those universities and colleges for their challenges and their, to have these kinds of link. For example, if Mohammed have a challenge in his, startups in the incubation or acceleration, maybe he can think to go to the university to bring this challenge to them, and to maybe they can solve it. Yeah.
Thank you, Maryam. Yes, I see your point where you talked about awareness. This is the most important. Yeah, it's a keyword, awareness and the desire. I agree with you, because students should have the desire to learn more about the new trends in the economy and in the market as well as bringing the industry with the higher education system, and even from schooling. It's not only about the subject that they learn, but it's about hands-on experience. This is what you are referring to.
And from my specialization as a corporate innovation, when we go to any corporate and we make a strategy for them and build the culture, there are vehicles that they have to use to bring the innovation ideas to their company. So most of the vehicles, it's collaboration with the universities and colleges, and also spin in startups and SMEs from outside, venturing or giving them investment just to escalate something that they wanted. And embedded with the ICV, and we all know that there is a mandate for ICV for the corporate, there is a mandate for CSR and sustainability for the corporate. So there are a lot of opportunities for the colleges and universities to play this role with the corporate. And when we come to the innovation is not only internally in the corporate. We need some ideas from outside, from the community, from the students, from the researchers. So this link, it should come sooner or later, and the universities and colleges should prepare for this change. And I'm sure that they will come very soon.
Thank you very much, Maryam. Now I move to Mr. Amjad Ali. My second question to you: what do you think are the key factors that contribute to a thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem in Oman?
Thank you so much. This is a nice question actually that you have asked, and of course it relates to what my co-panelist has mentioned. Of course, collaboration is first of all a major factor that definitely flourishes the entrepreneurship here in Oman. So entrepreneurial ecosystem can flourish only if there is a good coordination or collaboration between the students, educators, and private sector as well as the government institutions. Of course, without these all factors, these all components, the entrepreneurship cannot, of course, flourish in this industry, because there is a need to provide them the support. So entrepreneurial is not just an idea that comes to somebody's mind and he can have a startup up and running. It's all about getting many resources and getting support from the bodies, different bodies. So one of the key success factor is this, which is collaboration. Second is, of course, availability of resources and funding. As we have seen that we talked about the incubation and accelerators, and of course co-working space, which is one of the factors that we must have within the region to make sure that those entrepreneurs who have the ideas but they are not having enough support in terms of the facilities which they need, other than the funds, which are, of course, we have in Oman some of the bodies like OTF is providing the funding support, and of course incubation support also. But providing support to the entrepreneurs is one of the key factors. Another thing which she has rightly mentioned is the culture of bringing the entrepreneur here in this region. Yesterday I heard from someone saying that if you want to have a good sportsman, so you don't teach him the sports after the university. You teach him the sports from the day one when he is in school. Similarly, entrepreneurship is also something that has to be embedded into the schools, not only from the universities, schools, colleges, and universities. And competition and the events should be conducted within the schools. Now, for example, there are some bake makers and some events are there which most of the schools are also doing. In this region, it is lacking in somehow. If that is provided, like if you have an stall, so kids of even 10 years, 9 years, they can have the stall in place and they can start selling the products, buying from the outside market, selling, so that they can develop those business skills, business basic skills. This is one of the key factors. Another is the training, of course, to all the entrepreneurs who are good at one aspect. Now, for example, they have brought a very big, good business idea, but at the same time, they are lacking in skills of financial management, business planning, and other various skills which are definitely required to manage any business. And of course, to pitch the product in the market, they should have the skills related to marketing. And when we talk about the digital marketing and digital aspects, so if those entrepreneurs who are having these skills, we have seen that they have flourished. So I think these are the key success factors for the entrepreneurship here in Oman.
Very much. So education from young age is important, and the culture.
Exactly.
That
is true actually. If, of course, desire to learn.
Yeah.
If somebody, we can of course see from the childhood that where a child wants to be. We can see from his habits, his behavior, and like for example, I can see some kids, they are very good at drawing. Some kids are very good at playing with gadgets. So we can see from childhood that where this student is going to be. Because I was in education sector also, I was myself an entrepreneur when I started my career 24 years ago. So I know that how I grew and what I wanted to do, I did the same, and even today also I am in the same field. So it is because from the childhood I had that desire to do something. So similarly, we can get those children or those students, we can get to know from their early age what is their desire. And even if desire is not there, we can build that desire, we can bring that desire, we can bring in entrepreneurship into our culture so that students can do it from their childhood, and then they can, once they, even if they are university dropouts or college dropouts also, as she has mentioned that there are many entrepreneurs who are not even completed their degrees. So the reason is because the entrepreneurship was embedded into their blood. So that is what we have to do it in colleges, universities and schools, and that can come only because of the collaboration between the businesses, from the educators and the students.
Thank you, and it's skills and interest as well. Thank you very much. Move now to Engineer Mohammed. My second question to you, how does Oman's culture and educational system contribute to the development of a thriving innovation and incubation ecosystems? I'm sorry, the questions might sound like overlapping, but I'm sure that you will add more insight and information. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, so if everyone from us has a different point of view, comes from a different background, I think it's very important. I'll take a different point of view, which is we're supposed to provide let's say, the awareness, the information, as Maryam was saying, that you should provide the awareness or the opportunity for people to be aware, if should they wish to be entrepreneurs, be businessmen or businesswomen, there needs to be a differentiation and terminology that everyone understands as well. So there needs to be a normalization of terminology, so everyone, when they speak, when you say hello to someone, they don't tell you bye. They say hello. It's very common. Now, when you say someone, are you a founder? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a businessman or a businesswoman? Everyone labels it differently, and I think this is one of the main things we should first tackle in the education system, so people understand this terminology very well. The subjects in the education system is very clear. If you do math, it's math. Now, different from elementary school to university level, math is math. The different, let's say, difficulty, but still at the end of the day, it is math. Now, when you talk about entrepreneurship, what is entrepreneurship? And this is where it gets very, very confusing for a lot of people, even for instructors when they teach, especially in academia. When they explain, most instructors in academia, when they teach entrepreneurship, they have not gone through that process themselves. So everything they say, whatever they read online, whatever was prepared for them, and they basically teach their students. And I think that's something that needs to be tackled first. And I think it's a bit dangerous to try to get everyone in Oman to be entrepreneurs, to be businessmen and businesswomen. Not everyone is cut for that, not everyone is ready for that. I remember sometimes we would get people that apply and they want to get funding from us. One case study, someone who is, this is a few years back, he's already worked for 16 years, so he's 4 years shy from early retirement or retirement. So he wanted to quit his job and start a startup. And it's like, finish your 4 years, we'll be around, come back, and then we can potentially invest in you. Running a business is risky, and running a startup is even more riskier. So the point is, this risk factor or risk appetite needs to be from day one taught to students. If you want to be an engineer, there's certain requirements. Now, especially, and it's a very good setting in that right now with all the different universities. You want to get a scholarship to go outside of Oman. You want to be an engineer. There's certain subjects that you have to take in your 11th and 12th grade. If you don't, then your chances of actually getting that scholarship is zero. So if you want to be an engineer, if you don't take chemistry or physics, there's no chance of you being an engineer. If you don't take those, then automatically, and this is people know from day one. If I don't take these subjects, then I will not. So the same thing needs to happen in academia with regards to entrepreneurship. Running a business, there's nothing wrong with running a business. A small SME, there's nothing wrong with that. You can make good living and you can make a lot of money from that and be happy with that with a very limited risk profile. Running a startup is a completely different story. Running a startup in different industries is completely different. Now we need to teach them how to go about validating. Before you jump, you want to see, like right now, when we leave the stage, we have two options. One, we can jump through there, or we can take the steps. Each one of us has an option. And each one has a risk profile, a risk appetite. So if I want to jump, I can jump. But there's a chance I'll hurt myself. Now, if it was 20 years ago, maybe it's a different story. But teaching people that you should start your startup, you should run your business, I think is doing a bad service to a lot of people, so that when they start and then all of a sudden they go take loans, they do all these different things, and then they get in trouble. And then the COVID hits. Okay, and so because of these things, we need to be very careful. Everyone needs to collaborate and educating the different risks involved. That's one side, but also there's an upside where if you de-risk a lot of things, you can actually be a very good journey. You can earn money, learn a lot from it, and actually be very successful. And most people that actually work as employees in startups, they tend to learn more than corporates. And the reason why is because within startups, there's no structure. Everything is very messy. So somebody gets to do a lot of things. But if you go in large corporates, there's structure, so that you cannot move from one department to another. While in startups, you can move from one department to another every day, and because of the need for that. And so there is a lot of opportunity in that side, but also there's also risk. So I think that's something that should be taught in academia, different levels. We should not paint it very rosy, and it's very green and there's no risk and everything. I think that's not one way of addressing unemployment or what have you. Unemployment, you can address it, but that's not the right way to do it, from my point of view.
Thank you very much. For the short of time, we have 5 minutes to go. So I'll open the questions to the audience if you have any questions. Well, and we'll keep it very short.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for inviting us for such a fruitful session. I'm Khalid Mansour. I'm from Suhail Bahwan Group. I am a tech specialist and a STEM instructor. Actually, there is one very important topic has been raised by the gentleman, which is the early childhood skills development. So I have been engaged with multiple projects here in GCC region, and I have noticed one thing, that whenever we have any program for any skills development, the teachers, the families, the school leaders themselves, they don't have the right guidance, sources, tools, so they can identify the students where they have the capabilities and the interpersonal skills to be an entrepreneurs when they grow up. Because as they said, it's not intended for everybody to become an entrepreneur, because there is some interpersonal skills, some mindset has to be there. So if we keep it till they grow up, it will be too late to recognize that this can be successful leaders or entrepreneurs. So what is your advice for the families, for the school leaders, in order to empower the family members and the teachers so they can recognize these skills into their kids in the early childhood? And what could be the resources, or what could be the tools in very simple way? There is no need to have multi-millions programs or projects to do that, but what could be the simple steps where anybody can follow if he find or recognize that his kid or one student in the school has shown some of that indicators that he will be one of that entrepreneurs when he grow up? So what could be that plan, or what could be that roadmap? Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a very nice question, in fact, and I was also struggling, and I'm sure that everyone who has kids in their schools, they are struggling with these challenges, because schools are, I will not say most of the schools, but some of the schools are still following that traditional way of teaching. The reason is because the teachers themselves are not equipped. And he has also rightly mentioned the same thing. When I talk about, even I was talking about entrepreneurship also, and other than entrepreneurship, if you go to any field today, whether you want to be a pilot, you want to be a doctor, you want to be an engineer, which are traditional trends of how parents were growing their children to become a doctor, to become an engineer. One of the skills which is very important is the coding. Coding is very important. That has to be taught from the childhood to everyone, in fact. It's not only for entrepreneurs, it's not only for the developers. It's for everyone, because the coding has to be embedded into every field of life, every walk of life. If you know how to do coding, you will be able to, of course, flourish in any industry. Then is the data analytics, because data analytics is also related to any field of life. But usually this is taught to accountants, or this is taught to, means once the entrepreneurs or when the business people, they are into the age where they need to understand the business insights, then only they learn the data analytics. These two things together with ABC and 1, 2, 3 of the education has to be taught together. Now your question was that how can we do that? Of course, teachers are not equipped, parents are not equipped. If we see that, if I see my child has the business skills, actually, if he is into something which I feel that he's going to be an entrepreneur or he's going to be a doctor. So I provide him the tool from the childhood. And at the same time, financial management. We usually, children are asking from us, give us 1 real, 2 real, 3 real. We simply give it to them. They don't know how how important it is to manage the finance and how important it is to earn that money. So I believe we should teach our children from the childhood actually. Means I tell my children that I will not hire a housemaid to clean the house. You clean the house and you get the money. Because your education level is similar to the housemaid right now. So you learn from the childhood. So at least these things we can provide at our homes. We have seen in developed countries that they ask the children students to clean the schools by themselves. They don't hire the people from outside. This is the way actually we can start teaching, introducing such kind of skills from the childhood, in fact, other than, of course, the formal education. Second thing is that this is related to what we can do. Now the platforms are not limited. In fact, if we talk about learning management system, there are plenty of LMS. I will not name here because it will become again something commercial, but I also have some of the platforms, and there are various platforms which are teaching the coding and other subjects from the childhood to the through the platform, in fact. Even the risk management. People should know that, okay, if I do this, what will be the impact? So cause and impact analysis. These are taught from the childhood now, means many people are doing it. And even the robotics and all of this is also available in the school. Of course, first of all, we need to focus on schools and colleges and universities to introduce such kind of courses which are available across the globe. Take the example of top countries which are providing education like Finland. Let us follow their method of teaching. And one thing is, again, the grading system also, which is flawed.
Mr. Amjad, for short of time, I'm sorry.
This has to be seen. So
yeah.
As your question is so big, so we have short time. So it cannot be answered.
Yeah, maybe you can have this discussion
I can have a personal discussion.
Thank you. Maryam, do you want to add anything?
إذا تسمحي لي بتكلم بالعربي if you don't mind أمجد. أنا yes أنا وفي نفس الوقت رائدة أعمال وعندي ولد عمره 3 سنوات. أول شيء درسته في مدرسة خاصة وما شفت فيه أي تغيير معين، فقط بدخل مدرسة حكومية. لاحظت عند ولدي يريد يشتغل أي شيء، يلعب أي شيء، فشافني ألون هذا إيش اسمهم المانديلا أو إيش الأشياء، فبدأ يلون معي. بعدين قال ماما أريد أبيعهم. تريد تبيعهم؟ يعني الفكرة جات وحده. رحنا اشترينا إطارات، عملناها كذا، قلت هذا I just take a picture in the Instagram، وقلت له كم بتبيعه؟ فقال لي ما أعرف. قلت له لازم تحسب كم اشتريت وشغلك وبعدين كم بعته. قال تمام. السؤال الثاني، ماما كيف بيحولوا الفلوس؟ فكل خطوة صارت في البيت it's very simple thing ودته للخطوة اللي بعدها. ماما كيف بيحولوا الفلوس؟ طيب ماما ايش يعني كريدت كارد؟ ايش يعني ديبت كارد؟ how they transfer the money؟ يعني كيف بالapplication they transfer how the application is transferring the money? You know, like these kinds of questions will open his mind to do this, and then he starts selling this products in his school, in public school. He's selling to his teacher and his students, and then all the class they start to do this. You know, like. Okay, so I can color something and then I can sell it. Oh wow, that's a business. It's nice. It's very good. So sometimes education is not coming like direct through the programs or through summer programs. Although now we have a lot of entrepreneurs that they do these summer programs and specific for the coding, for data analyzing for the kids. And also I know that there is a program called التاجر الصغير. And they are doing all the process of entrepreneurs. What's the idea? What's the product? How you implement? How you sell? And they bring people to sell. And they are kids, like 9, 7, 8 years old. So it's a responsibility of the parent, if he wants to see his kids as entrepreneur, to see globally and locally where he can have these resources and put his son there. And sometimes it starts from your home. That's it. It's very simple. Yeah.
Thank you, Maryam. Ustad Mohammed, do you want to add anything? Okay. Thank you very much. So some keywords that we take today: awareness, learning from the childhood, interest, collaboration between higher education, schools, and industry from young child, bringing the industry experience into classroom, and also bringing the gap between the school, higher education and industry by having this collaboration together. I thank this wonderful team, and we have fruitful discussion, and I'm sure the audience would like to have more lights and discussion with you. Thank you, Maryam, Amjad, and Mohammed for this. Thank you very much. And sorry. Thank you.